there, you're watching The Brief with Jessy Chahal. I am Jessy Chahal. Well, this is an all new program where we bring you insights and peeks to the most important news stories and trending topics here in the country and around as well. Whatever the case, we promise to keep it brief. Hey, look, things are opening up at different business sectors, including interstate travel. The responsibility at the end of the day is on us. The onus is on us. We cannot go on living, sort of hiding and protected behind windows or locked up at home. We need to get back our sense of normalcy. But with that comes some amount of responsibility. The Health Director General reminded us yesterday that interstate travel will be allowed in the next few days. Even the Minister of Health, Kari Jamaluddin, has said it's important to take care of our elders and our children to ensure that we are all safe in this pandemic. Here, we're moving towards an endemic state as well, or a status as well. It seems like we have a hold on this battle against COVID-19, but nonetheless, it is still a danger out there. But my topic for today, I would like to highlight two important topics, and that is comedy and technology. And you're probably thinking, well, what does comedy and technology have in common? Both are important for us to survive and thrive. And that's why on this edition, I speak to tech analyst Bobby Varanasi, as well as to Rizal Van Geyzel, co-founder of Crackhouse Comedy Club, both of them coming up shortly. But first, let's take a look at what the Prime Minister has said earlier today. Dr. Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has said that he needs to share further insights into the concept of Keluarga Malaysia, or the Malaysian family, that forms the central theme of his administration, that he will be doing at a soft launch later today. We're expecting that through a live broadcast at about 4 p.m. So do tune into all our Bernama platforms. Now, the Prime Minister first talked about this Malaysian family approach in his inaugural speech back in August, as he invited Malaysians to set aside differences and to come together to lift the country to greater heights and help realize the 2030 shared prosperity vision, which we know is also coming through the 12th Malaysia plan, and of course with the budget as well. A lot of important things that need to be addressed. But on COVID-19, less than 1% point to go to achieving 90% vaccination rate. That has been the milestone, the light at the end of the tunnel, so to say. At this point, 89.1% of the adult population in the country have already completed their COVID-19 vaccination, just 0.9% short of the targeted 90%. Will we get there today? Perhaps by tomorrow, over the weekend, by Monday? Well, let's check out and wait for those numbers as well. From the Health DG, he says Pfizer-BioNTech's Comirnaty vaccine has been approved by the Health Ministry to be used for Malaysia's booster dose program. We knew these booster shots were coming as well. The DCA, or the Drug Control Authority, has granted the conditional approval in a meeting that was scheduled for today to be given as a booster dose to people aged 18 years and above, at least 6 months after their second dose. I know many people are still getting or still waiting for their second dose as well, and we know that the ministry, through its vaccination program, are really trying to ramp up those numbers on a daily basis. The Health Ministry has agreed to give booster shots to groups deemed to be high risk, firstly, such as the elderly and healthcare workers, frontliners, and those with comorbidities as well. Excuse me, the cat has got my tongue there. This initiative will kick off next month in Sarawak. Now, a few days ago, the Science, Technology and Innovation Minister, Dr. Adham Baba, said that Malaysia needs more technology-savvy companies that are willing to roll out highly innovative ideas and solutions and disruptive technologies to address global challenges and move science, technology and innovation, or better known as STI, forward. Now, through a public-private partnership model, the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI, aims to work closely with relevant ministries, government-linked companies or GLCs, and large local companies to create 5 homegrown unicorn companies in the next 5 years to enhance Malaysia's economy, especially through job creation. So MOSTI has said that they would also launch the My Startup Roadmap to strengthen up the ecosystem, with hopes of developing more technology and nurture brilliant world-class technopreneurs towards becoming a competitive startup nation. We've got digital platforms there. We know that infrastructure is being upscaled as well. And now we have programs such as the My Startup Roadmap. Who better to tell us a little bit more about more tech savviness and global challenges? None other than Bobby Varanasi, tech analyst, joining me right now. Bobby, how is it going? We hope that all's well with you. It's good to speak to you again. From the table of the Mosti minister, he has said that Malaysia needs more technology savvy companies that are willing to roll out these STI ideas and solutions forward. Can you explain really what is innovative ideas, solutions, and disruptive technologies, Bobby?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me. It's a good thought from the minister to focus on science, technology, and innovation in the same breath. We have spoken too much about innovation, and usually it has been disconnected from a lot of local realities. Yes, it's important to grow that STI ecosystem. It is important for every single country on the planet as economies, move from being just purely physical to a combination of physical and virtual. But I think where I believe there's a significant amount of work still to be done is in localizing the value creation and the resilience that has to come with it. We pride on the fact that we are ranked 33rd in the Global Innovation Index. If you actually read the report, it's quite sad to note that our knowledge ecosystems, our creative ecosystems are still languishing very badly. We've got infrastructure, great stuff, great policies, but it's not followed through by the corporate sector. And unless we get that cracking and solve local problems, yeah, we can aspire to have unicorns, but I think there's a lot of problems in our own backyard that we should solve. I hope this ministry's emphasis does not relegate again to yet another endeavor of saying, let's go and try to replicate global models. But make it relevant for our citizens, particularly now.
Right. So what do you have to say in terms of technology when the minister says Malaysia needs to reclaim our space globally, and you're saying we really need to address some localized issues as well. So which would you say now is more important at this point with this vision
Local
and with the
local
reality?
issues, local issues. Yeah, see, local issues, building our own domestic resilience, building that continuous pipeline of competent entrepreneurs, individuals, groups of people, that overshadows everything as it relates to the rest of the world. We get our house in order, we can be a good house for others to follow suit as well. I think one follows the other. It's not putting the cart before the horse. As it relates to recreate, what do you call reclaiming, we didn't lose it in the first place, and it was never someone's ranking out there. Global rankings are just about an indicator. I don't think we should be running after rankings, right? It's more important to say we are running after relevance and sustainability, which is extremely crucial in today's day and age.
All right, Bobby, have you had a chance to go through some of the key highlights or points in the 12th Malaysia Plan?
Yes, absolutely. And I think these are all coming together. See, I think the only confusion that is there in people's minds, notwithstanding the transitionary phase we are in with respect to SOPs, COVID, etc., is a wonderful roadmap that we had about 18 months ago called My Digital. Now we have My STI. A lot of corporations and a lot of entrepreneurs like me, the first question we are asking is, what next? Right? Is there continuity? Is there consistency? Is there some kind of flow through? How are we going to prioritize or reprioritize? We had 22 priorities 2 years ago. Now we have 10 priorities. I see some commonalities. So I think at the end of the day, the 12th Malaysia Plan is strong in its emphasis, which is a 5 to 10 year view, right? That's perfectly all right. How we get to it every year is going to be extremely crucial. These frameworks and the public-private partnership model that the Honorable Minister has rightly spoke about is what's going to make the difference between the cup and the lip.
All right. So, in terms of the high income vision, with the vision as well of a high tech nation, what are some of the challenges? If you could pick some out in particular, what do you think some of the challenges are going to be that are in line with the 12th Malaysia Plan?
See, what is interesting is about a decade ago, we were all, debating the fact that did we get into a middle income trap? We did to a certain extent, but I think we can no longer keep berating that point. I think we're slowly getting out of it. One of the key advantages of always being a high income nation is the significant amount of investment that goes into R&D in particular sectors. Nowadays it's healthcare, but a whole lot of other sectors. I'm sure Malaysia will get into the high income model. That's not a problem at all here. I don't see that as an issue. What I see is that income distribution. how effectively are we going to ensure that we distribute the income across the broader section of the entire citizenry? Right? You could be an extremely high income nation, but only pockets of the nation is high income and rest is still languishing. We have a great opportunity to not just create the income, but have an effective wealth distribution model in place. We're sitting on a golden opportunity here.
All right.
That's the
So,
only
in
challenge I
terms
see.
of global market, Bobby, and technology savvy companies, which of course is one of our main points of our conversation today, how would you rate Malaysia and how far do you think we are off target, or perhaps you think that we are on the right road?
So we are on the right road. See, if you're comparing 131 nations, the World Intellectual Property Organization did analyze last year. Malaysia is ranked 33rd. It is one of the top three in the middle income nations. You got it all fine, but the underlying reasons are, can we contain them? Can we continue with them? Can we sustain them, right, over time? Ranks will go up and down. There was a country that didn't exist in the first 40, and suddenly Czech Republic went up 25 ranks, right? What did they do in just 2 years that they got up there? The rankings we shouldn't get too hung up about. What we should be extremely concerned and consistent about is, do we stay where we are and be a better tomorrow? And we need to be bringing that flexibility, whether it's policy related, whether it is public private partnerships. We have to keep focus on the actions on the ground, not necessarily the ranks. The ranks will follow.
Right. Thank you very much, Bobby, for weighing in. Always a pleasure and always insightful speaking to you. We will speak to you again. In the meantime, do stay safe and take care. That was Bobby Varanasi, tech analyst, weighing in on more tech savvy companies, or rather the need for more tech savvy companies at this point, and the global challenges as well. Here's a quick update that's just in from the Bernama portal. The unemployment rate in Malaysia has declined in August as employment rate rises. The unemployment rate, of course, has declined by 4.6% to 748,000 people versus 778,200 persons back in July. Of course, more economic activities now permitted to resume. This stats of Labour Force Malaysia was disclosed earlier today. It's been released by the Department of Statistics Malaysia, or DOSM. It showed the number of employed persons has risen by 0.5% this month. So that's good news as well, but something to always keep us in high spirits, and something perhaps this entire lockdown has reminded us is the fact that we do need to relax. We need some respite. We need to unwind. And what better way to do that through comedy? We find these pieces of comedy through, our lives, our real lives, and then our real lives as well, as we get on the popular OTT channels. And we're always looking for laughter, whether it's on social media platforms here or the other. But I'd like to bring in now Rizal Van Geyzel, co-founder of Crackhouse Comedy Club in Kuala Lumpur. They're based in TTDI, and they've known this secret. They've hacked this secret, years ago, knowing that comedy is really the real medicine. Rizal, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for being here. What has MCO been like for you and the comedy community?
Oh wow! Well, it's great to be here. Man, MCO has been hard on the entire live entertainment sector. Myself and a lot of other comedians, we lost all our jobs. Well, our main source of income is usually performing at private events, emceeing weddings, birthday parties, all that gone. And in fact, the Crack House as well. Our success has always been predicated on having a room full of people. Tourists, locals, expats, just enjoying a live show. And a lot of that was completely cut practically overnight when we went into lockdown last year. So a lot of us had to develop a new skill on performing on virtual platforms, such as, we're using Zoom and Microsoft Teams, completely
Which would have
different
been
skill
hard,
set.
Rizal, because it's a whole new, like you said earlier, a whole new skill set. How do you now sort of, convert or transition from doing live shows where it's so much of show and tell, and then put that on a Zoom platform?
Yeah, I mean, in an ideally, we like to have, people in front of us. And then when we tell a joke, we drop a punchline, we hear the laughter immediately. When it's on Zoom or on, Microsoft Teams, we have to rely on the chat rooms and the laughing faces. So people, we always, at the beginning of the show, we always encourage people, like, if you find the jokes funny, just open your mouth and go, ah, like that, so we can see you and we know that you're
Yeah.
enjoying the show.
And
But
unmute and on your camera. I think we've said these words through Zoom sessions over and over again. Guys, can you unmute? Can you switch on your camera? But nonetheless, it's back to live shows now, so that's great and wonderful news. You've been having nightly shows since back when 2014, featuring both local and international, I guess, icons as well, guests as well, from Douglas Lim to Paul Ogata, Joanne Kum, to name a few, yourself, of course. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And so you and those at the Crackhouse chose to stay afloat. You decided to pivot and created a kitchen, I guess, or a service through the kitchen. Tell us more.
well, we always did have an FMB side, which was mainly secondary to what we were doing. We were primarily a live event space, so everything that we had, were basically bar snacks. Very, very, but they were not enough to create a steady, loyal customer base when it comes to delivering food. So I either had to make a choice. Either I go full virtual and invest in very expensive HD cameras and lighting, or I get on the F&B wagon, which is what most people are doing now, right? Everybody's selling food now. So we decided to get on that train, provided that we have a narrative behind us, that we are a comedy club providing laughter. So just so that we stand out, well, first of all, we took a lot of pride, and there was a lot of time to make something that we're very proud of, which is the pizza menu. And everything, we make everything in-house, everything ourselves. We make our own dough, we make our own sauce, and we use imported meat. We don't make our own cheese, obviously, because we don't own a cow, right? But we wanted to stand out in the food market. There's so much choice when it comes to food. So how do
So
we
you
stand out,
basically,
right?
yeah, you spent 3 months in the kitchen to come up with a brand new pizza menu. And what's great is that these flavors, in fact, reflect the club's spirit. So you stuck to Malaysian roots and you had to pivot, but you also did something special. So I know you're getting to that point. Share with us what was sort of, different or outstanding with your service.
So when we were in full lockdown and live shows were illegal, right? We could only reach out to our audience and provide them comedy through our QR codes. So with each delivery order, we include a QR code in the back featuring a different comedian, international and local, and customers would scan it and they would receive a 1-minute comedy clip, just so that we can still share laughter during lockdown.
Amazing. Looking back, how do you think laughter has really helped people, and what do you hope for in the next few months as we get into the holiday season, but we're still sort of in a pandemic as well?
Well, I think people are kind of eager to just get out and have some form of social gathering. And there isn't anything more engaging and refreshing than live comedy. I mean, honestly saying, there isn't any other place where you can have a room full of a diverse room of people of different walks of life, all laughing at each other, with each other. It is truly something special. I mean, you can't get that watching, comedy on live streaming platforms or YouTube or anything like that, where it's just one way. Whereas in comedy, we engage the crowd, we talk to them, and then, like I said, they're different people, all a very diverse crowd, and it's always very exciting.
It's like good vibes only, right? If you want to go somewhere where you're going to have a great time and meet fantastic people, the Crack House is the place to go. You are full house tonight, Rizal. That
Yes,
is
we are
amazing.
full house, limited capacity, but full house. Yes.
Full house. All right. Yeah. Within the SOPs. The team behind the screens here are telling me, do not let Rizal go if he doesn't crack a joke. So I'm going to have to ask you to crack a quick one in about 30 seconds, Rizal.
Wow. Okay. Talk about pressure. Okay. Well, there's one of the changes that we had to make during pandemic was how we greet each other. We have, I now that things are going back to normal, I see my regulars coming back to the show, and I don't know how to shake their hand or to not shake their hand. We always have that moment, right, when we meet somebody and we want to extend our hand. We go, "Oh, hello, how's it going? Oh no, cannot. Fist bump. Oh no, no, elbow. Oh, no, no, bow.
Awkward.
Hi."
Yeah, yeah.
We don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
Luckily, Malaysians, we already have adapted to this sort of change. That's why when Malaysians shake your hand, we put it to our chest, not as a sign of heartfulness or gratitude, but it's just so we can wipe away the germs.
Awesome. On that note, Rizal, have a cracking night tonight, and we will speak to you soon. Till then,
Thank
keep
you,
making
Jessy.
all of the smile and
Thank
laugh.
you.
God bless. Bye bye. That, of course, was Rizal Van Geyzel of the Crackhouse Comedy Club in Kuala Lumpur, in Tamantun specifically. So it's good to know that the arts are back alive. And of course, definitely bringing more, relaxation and just more freedom to the way people can express themselves and be out there and get back to some form of normalcy as well. Here's a quick look at news in brief. Health Minister says COVID-19 test kits ceiling price will be revised. They are waiting for a current supply to finish before a new announcement will be made. This, of course, is a statement that was made by the Health Minister, Khairi Jamaluddin himself. The Housing and Local Government Minister, Dr. Sri Rizal American, has said that the ministry will establish a special committee to resolve the issue of delayed housing projects, including those under the Prima Corporation Malaysia, or better known as Prima. And all these projects under Prima have been ongoing and have not been abandoned as alleged, although some may be delayed, reminds the minister. And from the Ministry of Higher Education, Dr. Ahmad Masrizal Muhammad says, or rather the Deputy Minister says, that the MOHE has agreed to increase the allowance rate for students with disabilities. Now, this matter has been agreed by the Higher Education Minister himself, Dato Sri, or rather herself, Dato Sri Dr. Nuraini Ahmad, and awaiting the Finance Ministry's approval. Now, firstly, the rate of allowance or assistance is to be raised from 300 to 500 ringgit per month. Secondly, to also increase the maximum rate from 5,000 to 20,000 per year to 10,000 to or 40,000 per year, although the study period covering tuition fees and allowance. So, of course, for more information, it's all up on the ministry's website, and of course, trending in news as well. Please follow through with these. Of course, at the brief, we just want to give you a snapshot of what's going on. And I move on to very quickly, as I say, a snapshot what's going on internationally. Ireland has agreed yesterday to give up its prized 12.5% tax for large multinationals in a major boost to efforts to impose a minimum rate worldwide. Now, Ireland, the low tax European headquarters for blue chip companies, has declined to sign up to the initial deal in July, objecting to a proposed rate of at least 15%. And moving on, also what is known as sea snot continues to cause an environmental catastrophe at the shores of Turkey in the Sea of Marmara, just outside the most populated city of Istanbul, and hit the local fishing industry. Now, the so-called sea snot is organic substance released naturally by algae and plankton in the sea. Scientists believe that the growth of this is caused by a rising sea temperature and pollution caused by climate change. These issues are real and affecting so many different terrains and countries around the world. Although this particular substance or sea snot is non-toxic, the material is highly susceptible to bacteria to threaten the marine environment. And in space tourism, they say it's just the beginning. This year alone, we saw the first all civilian team travel to space. By 2024, people will be able to go to space in a high tech hot air balloon. Can you believe that? The World View is a company, and it's announced its Rediscover Earth flights, which will take people into space in a zero pressure balloon and pressurized space capsule. The Edge of Space flights will take travelers nearly 23 miles into the stratosphere. Each tour will take 8 guests and 2 Worldview crew members on a voyage that can last anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. Wow, that's just Literally mind blowing. And in China, rallies seen downpours sweeping across China's northern and northwestern regions have caused multiple geological disasters as landslides and other collapses during the National Day holiday, which lasted from October 1st right up till the 7th. Many areas in China's northern and northwestern provinces, including Shaanxi, Gansu, have seen over 200 millimeters of rainfall, and the transit of Russian gas to Europe via Ukraine fell to 32.7 billion cubic meters between January and September 2021 from 39.5 BCM a year earlier. Hey, what's happening on Twitter? Lots of things trending. Langkawi, for one. People have been going on and sharing the experiences of those who've traveled to Langkawi and those who've been there in the recent past as well. Of course, we know there has been a few extra cases in Langkawi as well. So if you're traveling soon, please make sure you adhere to all the SOPs. Hashtag vaccination is also trending. People have been sharing the importance of vaccination towards one another as well. Such an important and positive conversation going on there about the vaccination. We are not safe till all of us are safe. And tweets on China's attempt to invade India at Arunachal Pradesh yesterday are widely discussed on Twitter as well. Isn't it great? There's so many world issues and events that are trending and are being discussed on online as well. But make sure you always come for verified news and information right here on Bernama. In closing, I'd just like to remind you that the Prime Minister is set to share further insights on the concept of Keluarga Malaysia that forms a central theme of his administration at its soft launch later today. We expect that broadcast live on television at 4 p.m. Do make sure you tune into our Bernama platforms to listen to what the Prime Minister has to say then. Till then, take care and stay safe. We'll see you next week.